Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to focus on drugstore foundations. I'm going to talk about my top 5 drugstore foundations. I recently posted a video of my top 5 high-end foundations. I will link that video below, but today I want to focus on the drugstore. The drugstore foundations have come a long way. I remember the first time I ever used a drugstore liquid foundation and I absolutely hated it. And for years, I didn't use any of them. And I would say over the last few years, I've tried a bunch and I have found some really great ones. I have found ones that rival the high end and in a more reasonable price point. So I definitely want to give the drugstore foundation some love today. So just like my high-end foundation video, if you watch that, I cheated a little bit. I snuck in 1 or 2 honorable mentions, and I'm going to do the same here. I am going to start with an honorable mention just because it didn't necessarily fit what I tend to reach for with foundations, but it's something I've discovered in the last few months and I love it, and I definitely wanted to make sure I included it in this video. So let's get started. So my honorable mention foundation is a tinted hydrator. So I said before that I tend to reach for more light to medium buildable liquid foundations. That's my bread and butter. That's what I tend to reach for most of the time. But I do love a good tinted hydrator, tinted moisturizer. And there's been a huge uptick on the market in regards to these coming out in recent years. So I've tried a bunch of them, and some of them I've liked, some of them I've absolutely hated. This is the one that has risen to the top, and that's from Wet n Wild. This is their Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. This is an oil-free tinted hydrator, tinted moisturizer. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It has squalane in it, all great hydrating ingredients. And it gives this kind of semi-matte natural finish, which I tend to gravitate towards with my oily skin. I don't want to be too shiny, glowy, and I find that a lot of tinted hydrators pull really, really glowy on me and then make me an oily mess, you know, within 30 minutes to an hour. So I love this. It gives this kind of blurred, very natural semi-matte finish. It comes in 12 shades. It retails for $5.99, which is amazing, and I am in the shade Fair. Now, obviously, I wish this had a better shade range. Now, to be fair, tinted moisturizers, they're definitely more malleable, more bendable, so less shades is okay in comparison to your more full coverage foundations. But, you know, obviously, I'd like to see more than 12. But at the same time, for $6, this is a great option. All right, now moving into my top 5 foundations. Number 5 is from Milani. This is their Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. Now, I don't use this as my concealer. I only use it as my foundation, which I guess is a little silly because I do own the concealer of this. So I never really even thought about using it under my eyes because I just automatically, when I put foundations on, I always don't put it under my eyes and I just put concealer and then set with powder. But that might be an idea. So this is 1 fluid ounce. It's $10. It comes in 45 shades. Way to go, Milani. And it is medium to full coverage. It does have kind of this natural finish as well. So again, not too glowy, not too matte. I am in the shade Ivory. What I love about this is, like I said, it gives this really natural finish. It is very skin-like. It doesn't make you feel like you have a mask on. And for a medium to full coverage, that's actually pretty amazing because a lot of full coverage foundations, if you're not careful, you know, it can definitely appear mask-like. And especially if you're not careful, you can end up with really kind of cakey, gross, textured foundation, which no one wants. My number 4 top drugstore foundation, this one is from Flower Beauty. This is their Light Illusion. This is $14 for 1 fluid ounce. It comes in 15 shades. It's considered a medium buildable coverage, and it is a very kind of light, luminous, glowy finish. So this is probably the only glowy, well, I shouldn't say that. This is one of two kind of luminous foundations. I say that with a grain of salt. Neither of my luminous foundations are considered super luminous. They're not considered huge glowy foundations, but they do have a more glowy finish, but one I can handle. I've tried multiple glowy foundations from the drugstore, and just like on the high end, most of them don't work for me. They just make me really shiny and gross. But this one has this kind of nice, natural, luminous finish. It's absolutely stunning. And what I love about this foundation is it fades gracefully. Nothing's worse than a foundation that looks beautiful on you for an hour, and then when it breaks down, or even 4 hours or 6 hours, and then when it breaks down, it looks awful. This foundation, it does naturally fade throughout the day, but even as it fades, it still looks nice on your skin. It doesn't cake up. It doesn't get really patchy. It just kind of naturally moves away. And I appreciate that so much because I do have long days. You know, sometimes I'm at work, you know, I get home, it's been 14 hours. And I don't want to have to wear like a crazy full coverage foundation just because I'm worried about it breaking down. I expect it to break down, but I want it to break down naturally so it doesn't make me look worse and older, you know, 6 hours, 8 hours later versus not wearing any foundation at all. And this does not do this. This reminds me a lot of the Laura Mercier Lumiere Radiance foundation that was in my top 5 from high-end foundations. It's got that thickness just like the Laura Mercier does, meaning when you pump it out, it's not really thin. It's not gonna, you know, fall down your hand or anything like that. It's actually a thicker consistency, but a little goes a long way. And it, like I said, it provides this just beautiful, light, luminous finish. I am in the shade L2 Ivory. I feel like ivory is like my life. So I am definitely transparent in a lot of ways. Now, obviously, there's two things I'm annoyed by this foundation. One, it comes in 15 shades. I think they can do better than that, obviously. I just don't think a company should have a foundation with 15 shades unless you're got a tinted moisturizer going on. You know, I just think in this day and age, we should be providing a much better shade range. If Milani can give us 45 shades, Flower Beauty should be able to give us, you know, 30 to 45 shades as well. The other thing is this is kind of hard to find. Flower Beauty used to be stocked by Ulta. It isn't anymore. I found this at Kroger. I know that some CVS stores stock it as well and you can buy it online. But, you know, obviously, if I'm using drugstore foundations, I want to be able to find them in a drugstore. So I was kind of bummed that Ulta doesn't stock Flower Beauty anymore. And like I said, this has become a little bit harder to find, but still a great, great foundation. My number 3 best drugstore foundation is from Revlon. This is their Photo Ready Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation. This is 1 fluid ounce, or excuse me, this is 0.75 fluid ounces and it retails for $11. I am in the shade 120, which I believe is some form of ivory. This comes in 31 shades. It provides a medium kind of natural finish. So medium coverage and provides this kind of natural finish. This is a really nice foundation as well. I do have to be a little careful with it, meaning if I use too much, it can cake up on me, but a little goes a long way. It provides this, again, very natural finish, very skin-like, and it's just a really, really nice foundation. It wears on me throughout the day, doesn't, you know, melt away or anything like that. So if you're looking for a good just workhorse, this is a really, really good one to grab. So my last 2 foundations, just like in my high-end foundation video, I did have some trouble deciding which one was going to be number 1 and which one was going to be number 2. And I decided that my number 2 was going to be the matte finish, just because it's so rare for me to find a foundation that is more luminous that works for me. So I think I get more excited about it just because it's a lot easier for me to find the matte with my oily skin than it is to find a luminous that I can actually wear and not look icky and gross and oily and shiny. So I think that's my reasoning. But at the same time, both of these are amazing foundations. I highly recommend both of them. It's just a question of what you're looking for. So in the number 2 spot, this is from Maybelline. This is their Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This does come in a dewy version as well, but I'm a big fan of this matte and poreless. It's oil-free. It provides this matte finish, but again, it's more of a natural or semi-matte. It doesn't make you look, you know, super matte, as in not a mask or anything like that. You still have some life in your face. This is a medium coverage. I've never been able to get full out of this, but again, that's not really what I'm looking for when I wear it. It comes in 40 shades, and I am in the shade, I actually go back and forth between 2 shades in this. This is 112. This is Natural Ivory. As we get into the summer months, I usually reach for 115, which I think is some other form of ivory, but this is usually my winter spring shade. This is very watery and runny. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Dior Backstage, which is one of my favorite foundations of all time. So it does remind me of that. You know, obviously the one downside is there's no pump, you know, but for this retails for $8. So I guess, you know, for $8, I can live without a pump. I get more annoyed when I buy $40 foundations when there's no pump, AKA, you know, double wear, versus $8 with no pump. But this is, if you are oily, if you are combination skin and you're looking for a good foundation, I would definitely reach for this one. This is just so good. All right, you guys, we've reached number 1, my top drugstore foundation. Like I said, I had a really hard time choosing between this foundation and the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. But in the end, this just won out because it provides this just beautiful, light, kind of glowy finish that I can actually get away with. And that is just so rare when I'm looking for foundation. So this one went out. And this is from L'Oreal. This is their infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation. It comes in 30 shades. It's 1 fluid ounce for $15. It provides more medium up to full coverage. I can get full coverage from this. And I am in the shade, it's funny, it fell off, but I'm almost positive I'm in the shade 410, which is ivory. Imagine that. So this again has kind of a little bit of a watery consistency. It does have a pump, which is really, really nice. It is, again, easy to wear, tends to fade pretty naturally, but I get a good 8 to 12 hours of wear with this without a problem, and it still looks good in that period of time. So you can't go wrong with that. Now they do have a powder foundation in this line, which I have not tried. So I'm going to have to try it to see if I like it. But man, this Infallible, I know it's been around a while, but it's such a great choice. It is such a good choice if you're looking for a good medium to full coverage foundation that provides, you know, this kind of light luminous look that's not too shiny. So that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear your comments below. Have you used these foundations? Do they make your top 5? Did I miss ones that you believe are better? I would love to hear what you have to say. And if you like this content, I hope you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I do all things beauty, whether it be makeup, skincare, hair care, all of that. And I would love for you to join our little community on YouTube. So I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye, you guys.